Hi folks, how you doing? RussellTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box, Mind, Body, Spirit, Fitness. Once again, while you're at that website, sign up for the newsletter, check out those free downloads for you. Setting goals, supplementation, and nutrition, right? Don't forget we have the podcast out now. Don't forget the Facebook page, True Results 303. Like all that stuff, get instant updates when things are coming out, when new things start coming out as well, and just daily motivational quotes and things like that. So today I'm coming at you with finding your journey within the church, right? So I'm a part of the Catholic Church, Christian Catholic. For you who've been watching, you know this. If not, thank you for tuning in. And yes, Christian Catholic. I've joined the Knights of Columbus. You know, you get involved, and it's a lot of volunteer work and trying to find your path. And unfortunately, sometimes with these other organizations that I've talked about my difficulties with the Knights of Columbus. And unfortunately, you know, there's just this chain of command that you have to go up. And so one thing I want to ask you, you know, I'm going to go with the concept, well, we all know to begin with, right? It's to live like Christ lived, live as the example that's been given. That's what we need to follow. But then, of course, it's always preach the good news, right? Live the lifestyle, talk about it, and things like that. So the concept I'm going with is Peter or Paul, right? If for us Catholics, Peter is the Pope, Paul, Saul, we all know him. He wrote, you know, half of his letters are in the New Testament. So the concept I'm going with is, are you a Peter or are you a Paul? And I think this is the main concept we've got to understand. Sometimes we just want to jump in and we start doing all these, you know, trying to get involved with the church, whether it's becoming a priest, becoming a bishop. What else could it be? You know, joining the Knights of Columbus. They have all these different Catholic men's groups. To me, that would mean you're more of a Peter, right? You're joining what the church already has and trying to be a part of it, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're a Peter, you're a leader within the church, or if you're a teacher, you teach at a Catholic school, right? That to me is that Peter concept versus Paul. He's the one that they just, you know, go out there. You've got your own mission. You know, Jesus gave him his own mission. And I got my Bible here just because you can see, if you look in the maps, right? They got a whole map dedicated just to Paul and what he did. He traveled everywhere preaching the good news. So that's the concept, like I said, I'm coming up with. What are you? Are you a Peter or are you a Paul? Are you someone that's going to lead from within the church? Are you someone that's going to venture out, do your own thing, and hopefully get recognition from the church? For me, this is, I feel like, my ministry, right? This is how I'm supposed to reach people. And eventually it's going to grow and it's going to get bigger. So I consider myself more of a Paul versus a Peter. You know, like I said, I don't mind the Knights of Columbus. It's cool to get out there to meet and mingle with the Catholics. I've been getting involved in a few more. There's a young Catholic professional group here in Colorado. I went to one of their meetings. They have Mass tomorrow, you know, once a month as a group. I'm becoming a part of that. I want to get more involved in that. But I feel I am more of this Paul character, to where I'm supposed to go out and either reach those that have left the church, or, you know, people can see the change that's happened in me and bring them to the church, versus that Peter figure where you're just growing within the church and trying to instill those values and lead from within, where there's already structure. I'm trying to go out into the mess and bring a little bit of structure and life to it. So once again, there you go. Who are you, Peter or are you Paul? Figure it out. What's your goal? What's your mission? But we all know the mission is, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Love God first. Love your enemies. And whatever I said at the beginning that I spaced out now. Once again, you know, we know the basic concepts, but we got to understand what that path is. And one of the best things I've heard, I can't remember what saint they said it was, where they asked him, you know, if you were going to die tomorrow, what would you do? He was out raking his garden or something like that. Like, if you were to die tomorrow, what would you do? He's like, I would rake my garden. And they're like, what? He's like, well, he's already living for God. He's there. God's with him. He doesn't have to go out and fulfill anything because God is there. And that's what we've got to understand, how to bring God to us, and then the mission will be itself, But it's not trying to do some crazy and, absurd thing. God should always be with us, of course, but we still need to find that purpose within our lives. Finding that thing to where you're comfortable with, and I think this is really going to help you out, and I hope it gives you some thoughts and motivations to figure out what you truly want to do and your role within your church, your parish. If you're non-Christian, if you're non-Catholic, that's fine, but just trying to figure out what your mission is from God. So I hope that helps. Once again, check out the podcast, the Facebook page, all those things. Join the community. I'm coming out with a new, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm coming out with a new Facebook page here soon for Catholics. It'll be for Catholics, but it's going to be called The Catholic Experiment. I just got to get my ducks in a row still, but look for that. It's going to be coming out soon. So subscribe to the channel, share and like these videos.